Welcome to a new era of beauty regulations. When the beauty industry entered 2023, it also entered an era of new industry regulations. On December 30, 2022, President Biden signed a 4,155-page omnibus spending bill amounting to $1.7 trillion that keeps the U.S. government funded through September. About 3,500 pages in was the Modernization of Cosmetics Regulation Act of 2022, giving the federal government more power over the beauty industry via the Food and Drug Administration. It's a meaningful step forward that has real substantial policies that will change the way cosmetics and personal care products are made, and it will also change the American population's exposure to certain chemicals, said Lindsay Dahl, Chief Impact Officer at vitamin brand Ritual. I am energized by how much progress was made with the legislation while simultaneously committed to getting other pieces passed to ensure cosmetics are safe for consumers. She said that Dahl had advocated for the law long before her tenure at Ritual. There are several significant changes and updates within the reform law, including authorizing the Food and Drug Administration to issue mandatory product recalls that are unsafe for the market and requiring the FDA to set rules for companies around disclosing fragrance allergens. Other minor changes include required registration for beauty product manufacturers, both domestic and foreign, within 1 year of enactment. This will aid the FDA when issuing recalls or investigating other issues. The FDA will establish good manufacturing practices for cosmetics, which are already required for over-the-counter drugs like sunscreens and dandruff shampoo. The FDA will publish proposed regulation by the end of 2024, with finalization suggested by the end of 2025. Under the new legislation, the FDA will also have to study the safety of PFAS chemicals dubbed forever chemicals that cannot be processed and eliminated by the body or the environment. They help combat grease, water, oil, and resist heat. The FDA will also need to establish standardized testing requirements for testing asbestos, which naturally occurs within talc. A 2022 study suggested that chemical hair straighteners pose a risk for uterine cancer, leaving Black women particularly vulnerable. 60% of participants who reported using hair straighteners self-identified as Black women, according to the study. But the biggest and most controversial topic involves Johnson & Johnson baby powder and whether its talc formulas contain asbestos, causing cancer and other ailments. Johnson & Johnson stopped selling baby powder made with talc in the US and Canada in 2020, saying consumers preferred a version made with cornstarch. The company still sells talc-based baby powder in other countries. The banning or restricting of ingredients was not included in the law, and it does not require supply chain transparency. Still, no law provisions specifically protect BIPOC consumers or impact the products they are more likely to use. Frankly, the majority of this legislation is giving the FDA authority over things responsible brands and manufacturers operating in the US were already doing, said Kelly Dobos, a cosmetic chemist and former president of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists. The bigger implications are for smaller indie brands. They need to ensure they will be in compliance with their contract manufacturers, especially those outside the US. But clean indie brands in particular may not feel much impact given that many adhere to clean standards set by retail partners like Sephora, Detox Market, and Credo, or were already practicing a similar set of standards on their own. The Credo Clean standard is already more robust than this law, but it strengthens and codifies the system, and that's always helpful, said Davis. Additionally, the law does not directly mandate or inspire more innovation, but it instead helps to raise the bar on the floor in a better direction. This signals to the industry to move toward a cleaner future because the bar just got higher.